Good evening, fuckers. We are back with the next Train Simulator Classic request video. This one is another one of mine, but still not the Chiltern Line one. I've been overwhelmed by the response in the previous video where I asked for your suggestions for locos to do the Chiltern run. I've had one, and let's be honest, that is one more than I thought I would get. So in an act of sheer optimism, I thought I would let that one stay up for a little bit longer before I actually went ahead and did it, especially as the one suggestion I've had so far is a loco that I'm very reluctant to choose. Yeah, I won't say any more than that. If you want to find out what it is, go and have a look at the vid. So this one is a route that has only ever appeared once in these videos so far. We're on the West Coast Main Line, Trent Valley, and we are going the opposite direction to the route we took in that previous video. So for this one we're heading south. We're going from Stafford to Rugby, and we are going to stop at Rugely and Nuneaton. So a couple of stops along the way. The Rugely stop is pretty soon after we leave Stafford, so that first stop is pretty much done and out of the way as soon as we get going. And for the loco, well, this is the reason for doing this video. So the loco is a class 85. The train itself consists of 8 Mark II coaches. So yeah, that is the train we are going to be using. As far as the specifics, it's autumn, it's clear, and it's 11:30 AM because why not? Right then, a journey of about 51 miles I think, so let's get this underway. And here we are in the cab of the good old class 85. Right, let's get things set up before we start taking a look at any of the outside ones. So we do need the instrument lights on. There's not many of these that are actually interactive. In fact, right, I'm not going to put the reverser into forward just yet, and once I've set the reverser you will know exactly why. So here we are at Stafford station, and here we have the class 85, and some of you may be thinking, where the hell did this come from? Because you've not found it on Steam or on Armstrong Powerhouse or even Alan Thompson site. No, it's not on any of those. This is a freeware loco. It's from backdatedtrainsim, the same lot that did the fantastic 1066 line which I showed in a previous video. And as far as the requirements for it, you need the West Coast Main Line North, and that's it. That's the only requirement. So if you have that that route comes with the class 86 loco, which is why it's needed. But yeah, if you have that route and you want another loco to to use, well, this one is available to you. So the class 85, yes, it's one of the 80 series electrics, which means it uses the tap changer controller method. It also means, like all the other 80 series in this game, it makes an infernal racket when you are underway, and this one really does make a racket. So well, let's take a look at our train. I will point out, when you download and install the class 85, there are no consists pre-made for it. You have to make your own. So, you know, if you install it and go straight to quick drive, you might be thinking that it's not working because there's no sign of it. But yeah, you have to make your own. So yeah, this is one I made. It's 8 carriages. I think it's 5 standard class, a couple of first class, and then the final one is the guard. Basically a big old sort of like luggage storage. Luggage storage carriage. Anyway, back into the cab. So 51.04 miles to Rugby. We have a green light ahead of us. Let's get underway. Brakes are already off, which is a bit of a dodgy way of starting, but there you go. Right, get ready for this racket. Now it is different to the noise that the 86, 87 and the 89 for that matter make. So at least it has the variety there, but right, let's get underway. It's as high as I really want to go at the moment because we are on a section with a 25 mph limit. Class 85 does an half shift. Its top operational speed is 100 mph. Bring the I wanted to bring the notches down, and I was a bit slow in doing that. And I've accidentally switched them off, but because we'd only just really got underway, that is not such a problem. Right, so now actually let's let this run it up. So we're now on a 110 mph section. It's now down to 85, but we're still getting underway, so this is not a problem. But yeah, acceleration and top speed on the 85 is not an issue at all. They're both great. Where it does have an issue is its brakes. Its brakes are terrible, to put it mildly. But you know, you can't have everything. Top speed will soon be up to 90, and then we can go up again in just under a mile to 100. But of course we do have the stop at Rugely coming up fairly soon. Okay, so we're at full power now. Light engine 66 passed us by there. But as you can see, this thing, I mean, it flies. We're still accelerating at a decent rate, hardly surprising since we are in the top notch. I'm not sure quite how many notches this has. I don't think it's as many as the 86, and clearly not as many as the 87. Now, if you think this thing is making an infernal racket now, and let's be honest, it is. Yeah, we have the Sugar Tunnel coming up, and it really does make an infernal racket as we're going through there. And then once we're out of it, we will need to ease off. In fact, we're going to have to brake slightly to bring our speed down. And we do have a diversion that's coming up, so let's run down. I'm going to have to start braking. It's running down the notches so slowly, I'm going to have to put it in the off. We're fine for this 90 section that's coming up, but we have this 50 section here coming up. We have another 66. Plenty of freight runs being done on the Trent Valley line. It does give the impression that it is predominantly used for freight, which of course is not the case. I mean, you're going to have passenger services, you know, running between Stafford, Nuneaton and Rugby. Okay, so we're now fine as far as the brakes go. The notches are still running down, but yeah, they are now at 0. Now I think the lines that are just coming in there, I think they are the lines that are coming in from Northampton. I don't know for certain, but it would certainly make sense. So yeah, we're in this 50 zone. We are soon about to go up to 75. Back there we are. So let's start running up again. Excellent power management on this loco. Okay, the power bars were just going into the yellow there, but I took it from 0 to top in that run-up sequence. In fact, we are almost certainly going to end up speeding because we're accelerating at a hefty old rate. I could really do with notching down, but yeah, I'm going to have to do it this way, which I really would rather not do. But yeah, running the notches down is a bit awkward, besides which we have Rugely station coming up here, So in fact, we might get away with this. Do need to start braking here. The brakes on this thing are not fantastic, to put it mildly. Although that's not bad going. In fact, the brakes on this thing should be, they really should be a damn sight better than they are in the game. This was one of the first, certainly one of the first electric locos to use rheostatic brakes. So I mean, we're talking like a really good braking system. I really want to have all of the locos on the platform. The last one is not so important actually, so yeah, okay, let's while we're here, we'll put the train into, in a neutral, so we're not deafening everyone on the platform. I mean, there's not a huge number of people on the platform, so it's not so bad. But yeah, this is Rugely Station, class 350 on the avoiding line there. There we go. Right. Let's get underway again. Just one more. Yeah, right. Let the power demands come down a bit before I add any more there. So, the Class 85, first one came into service in 1961. It was one of 5 different prototype electric locos that were all being developed at the same time. Those being the Class 81, 82, 83, 84 and 85. I bet that surprises so many people. And in the end, there were 40 of these things made. And considering that we are talking about a loco that was made in the early 60s, it was so far ahead of its time, and yet initially it wasn't chosen to be one of the locos that they were going to go ahead and manufacture. In fact, they didn't choose any of them. They took aspects of each of the 5 and put them all together into one final design, which became the Class 86. I'm accelerating way too quickly here. I can't run down. I'll turn them off again. Well, hopefully we'll be right for this 125 section, as so our next stop is Nuneaton. I think we've got a reasonable distance to go before we get there. So yeah, the loco weighs, I think it's around 90 tons, but it's certainly no more than that. And the power output, it generates 3,500 horsepower, which means that by locomotive standards its power to weight ratio is staggering. It's up there with the Deltic. Okay, we are now entering the 125 zone, and as I've let the power run right down, I think we can start accelerating now. There you go, so we're now definitely in the 125 zone. So the 5 prototypes that were developed, British Rail sort of, or was it British Railways? And we are talking, yeah, 61, so I think it was still British Railways. But they did sort of like cast quite a wide net, and they offered these 5 contracts to develop the 5 prototypes to 5 different companies. I think they did it with the idea that they were going to get back 5 very different designs, and they could then either choose the best one or do what they ultimately did and take aspects of each of them and put them all together into one final loco. But in fact, the 5 that they got were really not all that different from each other, largely because all of the manufacturers had all gone to the same place in order to get the various components, especially for things like, you know, the electric generation and the electric motors that are in each of the axles and stuff like this. So I mean, a couple of designs weren't that great. The 82 and the 83 were not fantastic. The 84 had some good points, but it was nowhere near as good as the 81 or the 85. So those were the 2 locos that really sort of, you know, caught the attention of British Rail. And so much so that even after they had developed the 86, the 85 was still being manufactured. They ended up with 40 of them, and the last 85 to come off the production line was in 1964, I think. It was either 63 or 64, I'm pretty sure it was 64. The Lichfield station is coming up, we're just going to go straight through there. And once the Class 86 was introduced, with its maximum operational speed of 95 mph, VR actually felt compelled. I really have no idea why they chose to do this, but they did a revision of the Class 85, the 85/1, where they actually reduced the power available to it so that its top speed, here we go through Lichfield, yeah, its top speed was brought down to just 80 mph. So why they chose to do that, I have no idea. Doesn't exactly make a great deal of sense. So we are now at 100 and still climbing. Now I realise with a lot of these like third-party lines and third-party, you know, reskins and everything else, installation can be a bit of a pain in the arse. Believe me, that is not the case with this. Like I say, as long as you've got the West Coast Main Line North route, then you can install this thing. And when you download it, you download an installation exe. So it is literally just a case of double clicking on that and away you go. But like I said at the start, there's no consists, you've got to make your own. But the reason I chose this route is that one of the contributing factors towards, you know, to BR wanting electric locomotives to be built in 61. In fact, they came up with the idea earlier than that, was because of the electrification of the West Coast Main Line, and that's why I chose this route. Because yeah, if I'm going to do a if I'm going to do a run in a class 85, I've got to do it on the route that the 85 was effectively invented for. Tamworth, this next station, should really stop there, but I'm not going to. So notching down to try and make sure that we don't end up going over 100. As it is, we've then got to go down to 90 once we have gone through Tamworth station. It looks like we are able to maintain our speed here, which is great, but I do need to bring it down a bit. I'm going to have to bring it down some more. I don't want to be speeding as we go through. There we go. So here we are at Tamworth Station. Still increasing speed, and I've got to bring us down to 75. Still accelerating. I mean, in a very low notch here. The speed is still increasing. Okay, it looks like we are, in fact, yeah, we are now losing speed. What I really want to do is be able to actually hold the speed as it is. It looks like this is doing okay, so we'll keep it in this notch for the moment. I've no idea which notch it is. but it is certainly a low one. Speed is still going up, but at an incredibly slow rate. So Polesworth Station, we are going to be going through that on the avoiding line. Here we are at Polesworth Station. In fact, it looks like, yeah, that platform over there on the right is the only one that is still operational. I'm fairly certain that canal, which we have been following for some time, is the Grand Union. I do like this camera angle. Don't always get it, but yeah, it's a great one. So Atherstone Station is the next one coming up, and yeah, again we'll just be going straight through there. I'm not exactly thrilled to see such a low max speed while going through it. Okay, so into 60 mph zone. Atherstone Station looks very small. It's clearly one of those stops that only the commuter, the emus, actually stop at. Looks like quite a scenic place actually. But yeah, we are not stopping here. So entering at 75 zone. In fact, I think we can start notching up now anyway. I didn't mean to run up, but there we go. So 19 miles to Rugby. We still have Nuneaton to stop at. The only slightly disappointing thing about this loco is that, yeah, going through the neutral sections doesn't have any effect, or at least it doesn't on this line. It might still affect it if you are running on the West Coast Main Line North in this. But it does not have any effect on this line. I think I may have reduced our acceleration a bit too much. Another 350. Looks like we are approaching Nuneaton, the area. Can't be too long before the station comes into view, unless that is the station and it's putting us through in the avoiding line. Doesn't look like it. No, it isn't. There we are. Should have just gone to off. I've run the notches down to 0. Bring our speed down a touch. certainly shouldn't have any problems fitting the entire train on this platform. Well, right, we'll give the ears a bit of a respite. So here we are at Nuneaton. Plenty of people getting off here. Quite a few getting on as well. Couldn't tell you if the station is well rendered. I mean, I've certainly been through Nuneaton, but I wasn't paying a great deal of attention, so honestly don't remember very much at all about my one journey on the West Coast Main Line. In fact, no, I haven't been through Nuneaton because I went from New Street to Euston, so yeah, I wouldn't have been anywhere near Nuneaton. Well, I would have been fairly close to Nuneaton, but certainly not at the station. Anyway, enough of this waffle. We are all set. Let's get back underway. So we have a very short section coming up fairly soon, which is 65 mph. Once we're through there, we enter another 125 mph section. We have no more stops now until we reach Rugby itself. There it is. So this is why I'm not accelerating any faster than this for now. But obviously once we are into that 125 section, we'll just run it up. I think at the moment we're actually on the slow line. Yeah, we are. I think that 65 is where we cross the points and join the fast line. So yeah, we're just going through a neutral section there and nothing. So, bit of a shame that I like it when the neutral sections are actually you know, active. In fact, I know they are active on this line, but you've got to be in the right train. I've done several runs in 350s on this line, and yeah, believe me, they really are about the way that I drive in this game, yeah, the 350s really don't like it too much. Anyway, we're now in the 125 zone, so let's start running it up. Looks like 101 is very much the limit that this train can do, but you know, we're talking about an early prototype electric loco that was first built in 1961. Getting 101 mph out of this thing is no mean feat. There we are, 100 mph. Aha. That is because we are fast approaching Rugby. We are definitely going to need to start slowing down here and notching down. Running down, yeah, it doesn't seem to be working too great, so I'm having a notch down manually. So obviously we'll reduce speed to 60, but 75 section is so short. So yeah, here's the solid yellow. So this is moving us onto the slow lane. Still accelerating, so I need to drop our notches a bit more. The acceleration rate now is so slow, I think we're okay. So there we go. It does feel rather fast for a yeah, going over points, but there we are. So we have double yellow. That's actually perfectly okay. We have notched right down to 0. But Rugby station is coming up, so it's not a problem. The single yellow, but the red is the other side of Rugby Station anyway, so nothing to worry about. Make sure we get the whole train on there, which we have done no problem. So there we are. That was Stafford to Rugby, with a couple of stops at Rugely and Nuneaton in the Class 85 freeware locomotive, freeware electric locomotive. So yeah, if you fancy a new loco without having to shell out for it, and you have the West Coast Main Line North, and better yet, if you are stone deaf or relish the opportunity of becoming stone deaf, then yeah, this is a great choice. And just head to the Backdated Trainsim website, and yeah, go ahead and grab it. I think it's a great one. Only one speeding error. I'll certainly take that. So there we go. Yeah, I did enjoy that one. I do really like the loco, despite the infernal racket it makes. And West Coast Main Line Trent Valley is a great route, even though it gets overlooked so often. I really don't know why it does. So there we go. That is that one done, and we will see you at the next one.